Willow Creek Springs presents Healthy Living with your host, Joe Grumbine.
All right. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Healthy Living Podcast brought to you by Willow Creek Springs. And we're going to have a very special guest today. First thing I'm going to do is get rid of this background. Whoops, shut the thing off. And that way it makes it real easy to see everybody. Okay. And today we're going to have a real special episode here, and it's going to be a little bit of a show and tell. I've got Neil Meyers here with Avison Medical, and he's going to demonstrate some medical equipment and some technology, and he's going to share with us his thoughts on healthy living. Neil, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Doing well. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Neil Meyers. I work for a company called Avison Medical. Avison is an acronym, and it stands for Advanced Vascular Circulation Enhancement. And today we're going to do a therapy, and we can start doing that right now.
Excellent.
We've got these mitts here we'll put on first.
All right.
We'll slide that mitt on your right hand.
All right.
And there is a chamber inside. You slide your hand in there, and there's a heating element. Gently rest the palm of your hand directly in the center of that heating element.
Okay.
And we'll be addressing a very important part of our body for microcirculation, and that's a thick and thin-walled veins called the venous anastomosis. So that's what we're directly going to be doing here. Let's go ahead and start the treatment. It's as simple as that. Avison is a Class 2 FDA-cleared medical device. We're cleared for pain management, fibromyalgia. We've had great results with autism, dementia, Parkinson's, and I've had a really great experience with the autistic with my own son, and I've got a great story about that. He was diagnosed at age 3 with autism. We've done everything in our regimen to help this young man, and he was doing better, but he was still nonverbal, not a lot of eye contact. And after 6 weeks of using this device daily for about 3 hours a day, his autism started to change. And what had happened there is the device will cross the blood-brain barrier with oxygen and nutrition. And a lot of these special needs children are suffering from working on one side of the brain. And what the device did was connect his synapses. And
wow.
That was an incredible moment. It was beyond obvious because the eye contact was there, became verbal, started building relationships with friends.
And this is the only thing you did?
This is the only change that we did. We started feeding his brain with oxygen and nutrition. And there's a great response to that because while you're feeding the brain, there's a natural, you're pulling the toxins and the inflammation out. So there's a great relationship between that. But once again, we're cleared for pain management. And there's been a passion behind the device because of what's going on here. We're using simply thermal therapy and a negative reverse pressure vacuum chamber. So by addressing the palm of the hand, within 8 minutes, you will have recirculated the blood, and you're pushing and vasodilating all your microcapillaries. When those microcapillary beds are open, we've got 100,000 miles of these tiny venules. And as we age, they begin to collapse. What this device is doing, simply using thermal therapy in a chamber, is opening those up so we can absorb nutrition, oxygen. Is beneficial because of the oxygen levels in your blood change dramatically. And
especially with this whole COVID thing, that was really one of the biggest factors. I know a number of people that, ended up really sick and O2 levels dropping down to dangerous levels and really not recovering.
Sure.
So I'll bet this might have some real value to people dealing with that.
That is, you hit it right on the spot there because I treat vaccine injured patients daily. It is interesting by holding a gradient temperature in the palm of the hand at 105 degrees. So literally the palm of the hand will be 105, but as pathogens and toxins are coming through that palm of the hand, they're being knocked out at 104. So we're eradicating and knocking out viruses and pathogens.
Yeah, steam sauna out there?
Yes, sir.
I spend a lot of time in that. That's why I never get sick.
So the device is, once again, non-invasive. It's something you would have in your own home, and you could treat you and yourself, your family daily. There's many practitioners and helps everything from neuropathy, We've got pedologists and several different doctors and homeopathics, and it's been a great journey, and the device is absolutely catching on, and it has remarkable results.
So it seems like what I'm feeling is obviously my palm of my hand's getting warm. And so the way he had kind of described it to me is kind of like the idea of like an infrared sauna, and in a way, not really, but because
Sure.
it's not infrared rays happening, but just like you said, the blood's traveling through all these vessels, and blood coming and going is both traveling across this area, so it's all getting warmed up. And like you say, with the vacuum, so for people that don't understand vacuum, and what it does is it actually raises the boiling temperature or lowers the boiling temperature, so it makes things boil really quick, so at lower temperatures. So when you put even under a partial vacuum and you get it warm, it acts like it's a whole lot warmer. That's the concept of what vacuum does. So
Right.
I'm assuming that because of that it's got a more intense response to it.
One of the things that's going on right now is that by adding this warm, highly nutritious oxygen blood through your muscles, it's really putting your body in homeostasis. So you're like you've deeply meditated for a half hour. That's after a 15-minute treatment. And putting your body into that state is triggering your parasympathetic. It's allowing your body to step into a state of healing. And it's incredible that relaxation takes you out of the fight or flight. So there's a remarkable transition there. But I mean,
And you weren't sure about doing this.
I was skeptical.
No, I mean about doing the podcast.
Oh, no.
You're a natural. What are you talking about?
I appreciate that. I'm not usually in front of a camera a lot.
It's all good. It's just funny how sometimes people that think they're really good, I'm like, I don't know. And other people that they're like, I don't know, I can't do this. I'm like, what are you talking about? You're definitely, you belong in front of a camera.
I appreciate that. Yeah. So we're doing a 15-minute treatment right here. I would use the device 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes in the evening. I would definitely switch hands.
Okay.
So there are kind of some little tricks to help in the blood. But
So with this machine, what kind of I mean, it looks like a fairly simple device in the sense of it doesn't seem to have a lot of computer technology built into it.
there are 4,000 sensors and
Oh.
images that are reading and diagnosing your body and
So
helping.
do you get a readout from that?
You don't get a readout from that, but that's what allows it to assimilate and get to the right pressure to move.
So
the
you have to
blood
trust the
evenly.
machine.
You believe in the machine.
Well, for those of you who doubt AI, you're gonna have to let go and trust the machine. So I guess, I mean, with something like an autistic kid, you have a severe situation where you can easily tell the difference if it's something's working or not. I have a chronic lung condition that I've treated with my own products that I've made that have kept me from having to do pharmaceuticals for many, many years now.
That was part of their passion with the pharmaceuticals. They really wanted to get the owners had a sister-in-law that was on a morphine pump in the dark for 30
Yikes.
days at a time.
Oh, man.
She had zero quality of life. The migraine headaches were tremendous. Avicen clears migraine headaches. We are cleared for migraine headaches. She's no longer in a migraine state or on a morphine pump. A lot of the play for this was the passion to get Western medicine to wake up to this opioid issues. So that was a big
Well,
passion.
that's just
for that.
it. Like here at the healthy living community, I'm not opposed to Western medicine. There's places for it. But
Sure.
every single thing that goes wrong with you doesn't need a drug pumped into you. And
Sure.
that's unfortunately what Western medicine does. You can't go to the doctor without coming out with a prescription, whether you need it or not. There's something you're going to walk out there with a pill. And I'm like, I don't know, I go through most of my life without taking pills, except for the ones I make out of natural ingredients. I don't feel like I need those things. And everybody I know that has their pill kit every single day, they got to take, 5 to 25 different pills just to manage themselves. They're all miserable and they have side effects that are endless.
Sure.
And so to me, I'm thinking to myself, a device like I have friend who's an osteopath. She was actually the very first guest on this podcast. And the cool thing about osteopaths, well, at least what they're in theory supposed to do, is that they embrace both the Western and quote alternative therapies. And so something like this, I would think that she would probably embrace. But when you're dealing with MDs, a lot of times they're just like, I don't know, I'm gonna do what I was taught, and I was taught a curriculum written by the drug department or the pharma companies, and they want me to prescribe a lot of drugs.
Protocol.
And that's what they do. They follow the book, and the book says, if this is wrong, here's the drug.
Sure.
And not, well, we have this other thing that's not a drug. Maybe we could try that first. Like, to me, it seems like as a gardener, when I see a problem, I don't go after the solution with the most aggressive treatment first, unless it's a problem that could get really out of hand. And we say, well, let's go gentle first, because you do a lot of damage with an aggressive treatment, and a gentle treatment might cause no damage and still fix the problem.
Right.
So you don't need collateral damage. You don't need, it's not chemotherapy for everything, right?
Sure.
Or we kill everything, and if you survive, well, you probably killed the cancer too. I'm like, I don't know if I like that idea.
Pretty invasive, yes.
Right. Why don't we try to bolster, as a gardener for most of my life, my whole theory has been just grow healthy plants. And if they're healthy plants, the bugs won't go and attack them. Bugs typically go after weak plants. Well, it stands to reason that pathogens are generally either bugs or plants or fungi. And when they're going after you, they typically go after the weak ones, right?
True.
They go after the weakened parts of your system, and that's where they can get in. Your body already has a system to keep them out. So it just seems to me that, supporting your own body, your body's natural system, oxygen, for example, I don't know, pretty important. Maslow's hierarchy of needs pretty much starts with oxygen, right? You can live a couple of minutes without it.
Right.
And that's it. Then you die, right? You don't get to live anymore. So really, we kind of need that stuff really a lot. And so anything that's going to enhance that, one day when I get resources, I'm going to get a hyperbaric chamber, because I believe that that's going to be helpful. I'm 57. In 70 years, I'll still be talking to you. And I told, my kids, I'm gonna outlive all you guys. There's no reason why not. Our bodies really were designed to live for a long time, and we don't let that happen. And I think oxygen's a big old part of it.
Sure.
So tell me a little bit more about this machine. You're a distributor. Is that, or how do you fit into this?
I'm a distributor. I sell the device. I will do in-home treatments for patients.
So you're a practitioner and a distributor.
Sure.
Okay.
Right.
Is there any sort of licensing required or any kind of training required to operate this?
Yes, they have a school in Encinitas, California, where you can do your training.
Okay.
And it's not the most intense testing, because the machine is so simply straightforward. Pressure, heat, and a vacuum. It is so rudimentary and so simple, but so effective.
Yeah, and pressure and vacuum are the same thing. So
Right.
heat and pressure.
Heat and
That's
pressure,
it.
right.
Just like everything in life.
But it's a delivery mechanism for
Right.
those who are taking supplements, right? And if we have parts of our body that are collapsed, like our microcirculation, and those small ducting is where nutrition and oxygen, that's where everything's absorbed.
Yeah.
So when you're taking supplements, if they don't reach the right part, then
Are they doing anything?
effective?
Yeah.
Are they really effective?
I think most people, just like plants, people overfeed their plants, but their pH is off. So everything's locked out and it just washes out. The plants didn't get any of it. I think, people that like to take gigantic doses, like, I manufacture products and I use all kinds of botanicals, and I use CBD as well. And CBD is a compound that most people take way too much of, and they don't need it.
Sure.
5 to 20 milligrams is really great for most people. People guzzle in huge amounts. I'm like, well, that's wasteful.
Right.
Why would you do that? You don't need it. Take the amount that you need and get your body to use it. And so things like bioavailability is really important in my world. We make it in a way that you can absorb it. And, these sorts of things, exercise, sleep, heat and cold, all those things increase your body's ability to bring in and get rid of things.
Sure.
In a simple way of putting it. Your body's always taking in and getting rid of stuff, right?
Exactly.
Every breath you take, you're taking it in, getting rid of it. The good stuff comes in, out, the bad stuff goes out.
Exactly.
And if we don't do that right, we become diseased really quickly. And so it seems like the concept here I like. There's nothing that you said that I'm like, that looks like bullshit. So
yeah,
I put everything to the same critical scrutiny, because there's a lot of bullshit out there.
There really is.
And I bought this hydrogen water machine thinking that was going to be a really good thing. And I determined after about a year and a half of having it and using it that it was bullshit. It just didn't do anything. And I did, like when I do something and I make something or try to use supplement, I'll do that. And that's the only thing I'll do. And I'll try that. And then the next step is I stop taking it for a while, see if I notice. And then I go back and I take it again, see if I notice. And I stop taking it. And that's it, my one variable. And if I don't notice a difference after 2 or 3 cycles of that, then I throw the bullshit flag down. And at least for me, I'm not saying it is for everybody. Maybe it helps the guy that made it, but it didn't help me. So I put that machine in the box and I
shipped it on back.
It's sitting in a box right now. It's a reminder to me to do a little more research before you spend money.
I get that.
Yeah. So tell me more about this machine. I mean, I'm obviously interested. We have just launched the Gardens of Hope. It's a 501c3 all about therapeutic horticulture and using gardens to bring about healing. And I believe that different healing techniques, when practiced in a natural garden setting, have an accelerated or improved value, just simply because of the energy and everything else. So if I wanted to get involved and get one of these things, what would it take for me to do that?
Well, you would sign up to be a distributor. You would get your own web page and back page. You'd get your own business card, electronic business card. And then you would find arenas where you could get in and you could start showing the machine.
Okay.
I do.
But I mean, just to have one for myself and to use
yourself.
it. Yeah.
Order the device straight through me and I could drop ship it and have it at your door the next day.
And what do these things cost?
They are on sale right now for $24.95. There is a coupon that's $500 off. So normally it's $29.95.
Okay.
You do the math on that, it's minuscule in comparison to opiates and
absolutely
Advil, and the list goes on.
Yeah.
Take for pain management.
Absolutely. Well, it looks like we're going to be doing a fundraiser here for Gardens of Hope to raise $2,500 to get one of these. I think that's
brilliant.
That's a good project. And we can you're listening to it, seeing it. I feel good. I don't know that I have I feel incredibly amazing, but I already feel pretty incredibly amazing. And I took a little methylene blue this morning, and that also does what you're talking about. Sure. It increases the oxygen and you get your mitochondria going and get your cells all oxygenated real quick. And so I get a huge energy rush from that already. And so I'm feeling that on top of this. So I feel really good right now, though. The thing is it's a really good, clean energy. Like, it's not like when you get too much caffeine, you get that, cloudy head, gritty teeth, and, or other stimulants of any kind. You get more than just the energy.
Right.
This is just a good, clean energy. Like, I could get out there and dig a hole. As you can see.
Yes, you can.
So, anyways, I'm very interested. Like I said, this looks like a tool I want to bring into this place, and I want to learn more about it.
Sure.
So
it's been a pleasure to be here and be honored to come back and do treatments. And
that sounds fantastic. We're looking at putting together sort of a health fair day out here. And, again, we just took a quick nickel tour. I'm open to ideas. That's part of what this is all about. But basically, for all intents and purposes, folks, you have experienced the Avicen, what is the official name of this machine?
Avicen 100, that's the in-home device.
The Avicen 100, and I am removing my hand fully intact. A little bit warm, a little bit sweaty, but feeling really good. All right, folks, this has been the Healthy Living Podcast brought to you by Willow Creek Springs. Neil, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.